Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ZapSec Modernization Series. My name is James Camerota. I'm Vice President of Infrastructure at ZapSec, and today I'm joined by Ray Garg, Identity Access Management Architect. We're going to talk about identity lifecycle orchestration across multiple customer platforms and systems. So let's jump right into this using an example that Ray has put together. So think about this. A customer completes a Know Your Customer form, but the CRM system still shows them as unverified. There's a fraud flag in the identity layer, which never reaches the customer data platform. So a personalized offer keeps flowing to an account which is under review. Marketing sends a campaign to someone who closed their account 2 weeks ago. Each team discovers the same root cause at a different time. This is an example of when systems don't talk to each other. So, Ray, what do you think about this? What's going on here?
I think it's a very chaotic system where, events are not standardized between systems. And when different teams across these systems are discovering the same root causes at different times, that causes a lot of issues. So the systems are disagreeing about where the customer is in their life cycle, and there's no shared record of what happened and when.
Right. And when the consent record in identity access management says one thing, and the data platform acts on a different version, that's not a data quality issue. That's a regulatory exposure.
Yeah, 100%. You might have consent attributes, data residency, tax jurisdiction. You have important attributes, and when those aren't synced, across your customer identity platform, across CRM and CDP, there's a lot of introduction to regulatory issues and whatnot. The root cause here, as we can see from this diagram, is the point-to-point integration between systems. Customer identity management might push into CRM, CRM might push into CDP, KYC sends the results back. Each connection is working in isolation, and when one of them fails silently, the downstream systems diverge.
Yeah, so you laid out very well and you actually showed very clearly what the issue is. So now the question is what replaces that and what can you do about it?
Yes, so we want to take a look at this, right? So we replace it by making the identity layer becoming a canonical event source. So we want to think of it as a shipping manifest for the customer lifecycle. Every state change produces a structured event, things like registration, authentication, verification, consent updates, risks that are being flagged or account recovery. Those events are published once, and downstream systems subscribe to what they need. So we publish it once and subscribe many.
Yeah, so that sounds like an excellent system. So really what I hear is instead of systems constantly checking each other for the latest status, they simply receive updates as events happen.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So we're trying to drive home event-driven identity here. And it's bi-directional, right? So KYC may publish a verification result. The fraud system publishes a disposition. Support might publish a recovery outcome. Those signals all flow into the identity layer, which remains the policy anchor. So customer identity management decides whether a KYC result removes a step-up requirement, or whether a risk flag throttles access, or whether a recovery changes the account's posture. So other systems inform, and customer identity access management governs.
Right. And the beauty of this is that the event contract or schema itself enforces data minimization. So each subscriber receives only the fields it needs, scoped to the consent the customer has granted.
Yeah, and that's so important to avoid data sprawl, to have a standardized event schema, to have a set of attributes that you post is quite important to make event driven identity successful. Uh, Coming on the point you said about consent, consent becomes a first-class record in the stream. So a consent updated event would propagate to every subscriber with regional context as well in multi-tenant identity scenarios. The CDP may adjust personalization scope. The CRM would adjust outreach permissions, and every consent state. Every change is an immutable event with a timestamp, so the audit trail is complete.
Right, right. So what does it take to operate this?
Yeah, here schema governance is the real work here. So owns the event contracts, the field definitions, the versioning, and you need item potency so that replayed events, they don't create duplicates, and you need dead letter handling so that events that were failed to deliver can be retried and are visible rather than silently dropped. The governance overhead is real, but the alternative is the original drift that we started with.
Right. And so it's true, right? The teams don't have to adopt everything at once.
Definitely, yeah. You teams would start with the highest cost failure. For most enterprises, that's the gap between CIAM and CRM and CDP on account status, or between customer identity management and the fraud system on risk signals. We'd want to instrument those flows first, prove the pattern, and extend it to other systems incrementally.
Right. And so what I'm hearing, what it sounds like to me is when identity is orchestrated as an event source, each system agrees on where the customer is. So that means consent is enforced consistently. And then fraud signals reach the right systems in time. And in the event there's an auditor who asks what happened, there's a complete sequenced record.
Correct. Yeah, you hit it. You hit it on point. And the customer journey does not improve by adding more integrations. It really improves when the integrations share a common understanding of what happened and when.
That's great. I mean, so my takeaway is it's one customer life cycle, one event stream, and each of the systems are listening. And on the other hand, if your platforms disagree about the state of a customer, that's usually where the architecture needs some attention. What we've heard from you, Ray, is that identity can orchestrate those systems. And in that case, customer journeys stay aligned and the business has the visibility it needs to operate confidently. So, I'm going to wrap it up here. And if this sounds familiar to you, contact either me or Ray. ZapSec can help you address those pain points and make customer identity work across all of your platforms. Thank you.